Hello, and I'm welcome live here to a special report. I'm alongside Jerry Gappens here in his office. How you doing, Jerry?
I'm doing well, and I feel good to be part of a special report that sounds like news breaking.
Well, it kind of is. We've been working on getting an interview with you, and here it is. So we have a couple questions for you here. One of them is, there's been a lot of talk about lighting up New Hampshire Speedway. Can you tell us any info on that?
Certainly. What happened back when Bob Bear came in and built the track, there were 5 or 6 residents in a nearby adjoining town, Canterbury, and they didn't like the idea of a speedway here, and they wanted to not have anything to do with it, and so they filed lawsuits, and Bob ended up working through a process that included legal action that they ended up coming to a settlement, and part of that settlement was no night racing. And that was done back in 1989-90 when night racing wasn't as prevalent on the schedule as it obviously is today, and that was something Bob wasn't worried about. But there are things in there like no mud bog racing, no standalone concerts, no drag racing. We could never have a drag strip here. So there are a lot of covenants that to how big a beer we can serve. So it's very restrictive this day and age. So you got to go back through and try to reverse some of that process. And I'm trying to do it delicately where it's in their deed, and so you got to change it around. And I don't want to get into lawsuits with the town or anybody else. And so we're trying to work through it with a more diplomatic fashion, and that just takes a little more time, but it's something that's on the top of my radar, especially what we really are eyeing is that July race because of the heat. I think the novelty of having a night race would be a tremendous boom to the track, and really a great thing for our fans. So we're working on it. I know you've heard that for the last 2 years, but as I said, when it's locked into a deed like that, you got to get 4 or 5 parties to agree to release some of that, and then the town to go ahead and say, all right, we can do that. But it's worth doing, and we're certainly going to push it up a little bit.
All right, so pretty much now for a couple of years you would...
I did send a letter to NASCAR to see if it was possible for next year, because what you also have to take into consideration, one, is NASCAR open to it, because at the end of the day it's their dates that they decide. And then with the important relationships we have with our TV networks, does it make sense for the TV network that's broadcasting that race to do it Saturday night, or would they rather do it on a Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon? So I sent that 2 weeks ago to get a response, because I need them to say yes first and then put everything in motion. So I did go ahead and ask for next year. I'm an optimistic guy, so I want to be ready if that's an option. If not, then 2015.
All right, cool. I've been one that's been sitting there going, come on, night racing, but yeah. All right, cool. Another question is repaving New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Have you anything on that?
Well, we're getting to the time where we've talked about it internally. It's an expensive project to do, and it's kind of on the radar, but it's kind of like replacing your washer or dryer, or if it's still working, you don't want to not make a change, but at the same time, you don't want to have an event where a track breaks up, where it's a showstopper, as we call it in the industry, where you're sitting there, and we've seen that at Daytona and some other places where there's been a big pothole, and it takes time to do that. And here you are on live national TV, you got a live audience in the crowd, and there's nothing more frustrating than that. But we own and operate 8 tracks across the country. We've got a great engineering team, and they keep an eye on it. We seal it. We take very good care of it, but it is to the point of having to repave. And then you're always scared when you hear repaving, because it seems like at most facilities that first race or two after repaving, it's not as competitive racing. And I think we've had some pretty good racing here in the last couple of years of side-by-side. So we need to do it, but we're going to do it smart.
All right. That sounds good. I've always been interested in repaving. Obviously, I don't have any say in what goes on here, but well, I kind of do, but not really, not much. Another one, what future plans do you have for NHMS?
Well, the big thing is we talked about are the lights. I'd love to see the place be lit up for a July race and do the Cup race on a Saturday night and the Nationwide on a Friday night, and maybe have the Modifieds be an opening act on one of those 2 nights in it, and give us an August Bristol type of schedule and format here, and that's the big part of it. And then the other priority with Bruton, our chairman, is to always look at fan amenities and improvements there, and so we're working really close with with the state of New Hampshire on widening 106 from here down to 393. That'd be a great benefit for the fans and getting in and out of our facility. It's on the 10-year plan, just has to be funded, and we're in that process right now of trying to find the dollars to get that started.
All right, cool. And one last thing, as our camera person sitting there waving his hands back and forth, what is your favorite thing about being the general manager of New Hampshire Motor Speedway?
Absolutely, most favorite is the interaction with the fans. I love during race week to go out in the campgrounds, talk to people, eat with them, have beverages with them, and get their feedback. And that's how you know what's going on. And some of it's good, some of it's bad, but you take the bad and you have thick skin about it and you try to correct it. This year we had a lot of rain, 3 weeks worth of rain. At the race week we ended up with 3 inches of rain on Thursday. We had some wet spots in some of the campgrounds. I looked at it, saw it. We've got piping already here on property. We're waiting on a couple other pieces, but we're gonna put in some more drainage in some of these areas where we saw problems, and that's how you fix it. And you know, but that comes back from feedback with the fans, and that's by not hiding in an office. It's getting out there and being as visible as much as you can. I mean, I got other responsibilities, but that's my funnest part about the job, and it's really gratifying for the whole team when they drop the green flag and that starting field goes down. You look up and you see all these people here having a great time.
All right, cool. So that will do it for us here for the Racing Hotspot special report. Thank you, Jerry Gappens, for taking time out of your busy schedule, and yeah.
I think you're doing well. I think you're the next best thing since Jim McKay, so you got a good future in front of you there.
All right, thank you. And have a nice day, everybody, and see you next time.